right, folks, welcome back to Radio's Yard here on the Live at $1 Podcast Network. As you can see next to me, one of our best here, Miggs is here with us, and we're going to go over Backlash, a big wrestling event over the weekend. We're not going over everything that happened there. I've got three main topics I want to go over. Obviously, the big three matches that happened. Let's start from the bottom and go up the Fatal 4-Way match. Let's start there. Your thoughts, you've been good with your premonitions, and you're kind of you've been good with that lately. But what'd you think about Fatal 4-Way?
I actually loved the match. I thought it was. I honestly didn't have high hopes at first, but the cast was good. I mean, Fatu, easily becoming one of the best superstars that they have. Damian Priest, he's always gonna be like that Kane-esque. Like he's always gonna be good.
Never top dog.
He'll always be good. Like
bottom tier 1, almost tier 2.
Like Kane had one title run. Damian Priest already had his title run. Now he'll kind of just be like the big guy that they call out to beat somebody up. Yeah. Drew McIntyre's obviously had his whole thing on that LA Knight. They're still trying to push over LA Knight a little bit, and I think people are kind of falling off the hype.
Right.
But the match was still good. I mean, Jacob Fatu is unbelievable. The match was good. Jeff Cobb, I don't know if you know who that is.
No,
he is a not new. He's been wrestling for a while. He's done New Japan and Lucha.
Okay.
And he's one of the guys who's been like really good in New Japan, and they finally brought him over.
That's okay. So that now you just answered a question for me, because I was going to say some guy ran in and even the announcer's like, whoa, what is he doing here?
Yes.
Perfect.
So
good explanation.
He knocked out LA Knight.
Yes.
And then Solo kind of just gave him a nod to like let him keep doing it, obliterated him. Prior to this, they had every Fatal 4-Way, they always do the thing. So I wrote it down here. So Fatu did a Swanton Bomb.
Right.
Into that was LA Knight's Blunt Force Trauma to Fatu.
Right.
Then Damian Priest choke slammed LA Knight, and then Drew McIntyre Claymore kicked.
Right.
They always got to do their four finishers.
I like it. I love it. That happens, right.
But it was really cool. I mean, Fatu, he's a big dude, and he's an athlete.
Right.
So Jeff Cobb comes in and he absolutely obliterates LA Knight, and then finally throws him in the ring, and Fatu does his backwards moonsault off the top rope, lands on him, pins him, retains the title. But it was a good match. I mean, Fatu, everybody loves just listening to him talk,
right?
Because he's got his thing where he yells, he's like, Fatu, yada I mean. Like, it's unbelievable. I love it, bro.
All right, so hobby talk real quick while we do that. Kemp and Fatu.
Yeah.
I mean, when the next set of cards comes out, wrestling-wise, those two guys going to be definite chasers at this point. The more that the WWE pushes them, the more the chase is going to be. But for the new guy coming in here now, that's going to be a hell of a debut for him in the next set.
If they put him in the new product, I would say 100%. I mean, Jacob Fatu, he's already kind of.
Right.
But now how they're pushing him and the way the new product is, absolutely. Him and even still Jey Uso.
Right.
They'll still be the top guys, 100%.
Yeah, that's going to be fun to think. Okay, Pat McAfee, Gunter, like this was...
So, did you see anything prior to the match?
A little bit, but give me a little bit of a lowdown beforehand, because all I saw afterwards was Pat putting pictures on the Instagram where it looked like he got into a car crash with his chest and everything, and he did get his bleep kicked a little bit.
Yeah, 100%. Everyone knew going into the match that he was going to get his butt whooped, but. So prior to the match happening, Gunther is always, like I told you, Gunther's that bad guy, but he'll always have a job. He's that old style wrestling. He's one of the best in-ring wrestlers that they have.
Right.
He was messing with Michael Cole, and Pat McAfee's like, you don't mess with my dog, Michael Cole. So Gunther grabs Michael Cole, and then you see Pat McAfee run around and hit him in the head and push him off, and then Gunther puts him to sleep, and that's kind of the beginning of it. So next week on Raw, Pat McAfee cuts one of the best promos I've ever seen from an announcer or an in-ring personality ever. He's like, you mess with Michael Cole, you're effing messing with me. Like, me and you Backlash next week. Let's do it. And then they figured it out. They signed the contract, and it went. And he did lose.
Yeah.
But Gunther gave him his respect after the match because he fought. Yeah, they gave him his respect.
It was a hell of a fight by Pat in that one also, considering he's an athlete, so we get that.
Of course.
But, like, do we give enough respect to punters as being an athlete?
Exactly.
So that was it was a fun match.
Yeah.
Listen, I was entertained by it, obviously. I knew probably who was going to win that match, and that's fine. I get that. But I think Pat did a great job in that. And not that I think there's a future for him in wrestling, but when these type of things come up, it'd be fun to see how he kind of interacts with all that as well.
Like when they had when Jerry the King, even though he was older, when he would jump in, you could still see the little esque of something good. Yeah,
I liked when Jerry the King, by the way, on all the old school Royal Rumbles, when he would just go to like to his music, and he was like the 23rd entrant, and no one knew,
walking out with the crown. Yeah,
I love Jerry the King.
Jerry the King's the man.
Let's get to the big one. Obviously, Cena and Orton. This was a match, and Cena now is obviously going to be the top headliner for all this stuff, especially going forward, especially till December, which we'll get into all that by December, because by that time it's going to be an interesting storyline how they really play that out, especially at the end. What'd you think of this match? What'd you think of the outcome? And what's not the future for both guys, but like the next step for both guys now going forward?
I mean, for me, this was, and probably every wrestling fan, this was nostalgia. It was
great.
Course.
Right, of course.
20 years these guys have. I think they fought each other the most. Like, that's their most matches against is each other. John Cena, I think someone said he's taken 40 RKOs and things of that nature all over his career. Yeah, it was a lot. I mean, the build-up was great. It was one of the most anticipated matches of the last probably 5 years, to be honest with you. It was good. You know, there was a couple of parts where you're like, wow, these guys are getting old. Like,
you could tell.
You could tell 100%. You know, Randy Orton's scoop slam didn't look as smooth as it used to. Things of that, but there got to a point where the match was fantastic.
Right.
I mean, Orton picked up John Cena, did his own move on him through a table. Then it just kind of got to a back and forth thing, and Cena grabbed the title and was going to use it to hit Orton, and then he accidentally hit the ref, knocked the ref out, right? So then all the officials come down, these guys in their suits, the SmackDown GM comes down, and Randy's trying to pin John Cena because he RKO'd him.
Right.
And the officials are like kind of like the match is done but not really done. Randy Orton RKO's all 5 dudes in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. John Cena hits him with a low blow, then hits him over the head. Ref wakes up, and that's how he wins.
Curtains at that point.
Actually, I'm sorry, I missed out this part. So before the low blow, he's about to punt John Cena in the head, like his whole punt thing.
I remember that. Right.
And R-Truth comes in, and
what was that about?
R-Truth is. His whole career has been like, John Cena is my childhood hero, even though R-Truth is older than John Cena.
Right, which is weird. Right.
It's the gimmick, but it's hilarious. He makes everybody laugh. So he came in and without hesitation got RKO'd immediately. I think Randy did probably 10 to 12 RKOs that entire match.
Well, besides the 5 on the officials there, Cena at least took 3 or 4 of them,
exactly.
At least,
and then he RKO'd R-Truth, and then after that he like looked at the crowd, and then Cena gave him the low blow, hit him over the head with the title, and then ended up pinning him and winning.
It was an interesting pay-per-view. I'll tell you that right there. Your overall grade on the pay-per-view in general was?
I'll probably give it a B+. Okay. To be honest with you, yeah. The Fatal 4-Way was very. If those guys like Fatu, Priest, McIntyre, and LA Knight keep fighting, and they could even rotate a few of those guys out, but I mean, Fatu can make any match look very interesting.
Yes, he's gonna have to make a run soon.
Absolutely, they'll give him that push. Same because they did the same thing with Jey Uso. You know, Jey Uso just got his push. He still has the title now, so I'm really excited to see how the future looks.
Well, we got Money in the Bank coming up, right? That's coming up. That's the next one big coming up. So we will talk to Miggs before that kind of happens, or do a review with Miggs after that as well. But as you can tell, our wrestling expert here, Miggs, sitting in Radio Yard. Thanks for always coming in here, man.
Absolutely. I love it.
We love having you as a guest here in Radio Yard. All right, that's going to do it for us. A little Backlash WWE Wrestling review with our boy Miggs here in Radio Yard. Make sure you subscribe to our podcast. Make sure on the YouTube page as well you watch the video, and make sure everything that you do, by the way, comes back to Live at $1 Podcast Network. We appreciate your support as always. For Miggs, for myself, and for our producer, the newest married man in the building, our boy Kobe. That's right, in the back
Shout
here.
Out Kobe,
well,
man.
By the way, Miggs couldn't watch live because of Kobe's damn wedding, so we had to wait an extra day for that as well. Right? You know what? We do things here. Kobe's our guy anyway.